two different labs that could create a conflict, but more importantly, it adds that additional step. This lab has this piece, this has this piece. Now they've got to converge those two pieces to make an elimination or identification. No, just send it to one lab. Let's go. They're both great labs.
And the sheriff is praising the FBI on the ground here. He tells us that they are in the same command center together, sitting side by side, that they are making decisions in real time. Also, the sheriff tells me that there was not a glove recovered from Nancy Guthrie's house. Here is the sheriff on that.
Why split your evidence to two different labs that could create a conflict, but more importantly, it adds that additional step. This lab has this piece, this has this piece. Now they've got to.
Do we have the glove sound or no? Okay, so I'm sorry, we didn't have that second soundbite cut in time. This is kind of some developing news, but the sheriff tells me that there was not a glove recovered from Nancy Guthrie's property. That was being reported based on some sourcing. That is critical because, of course, if you have one glove potentially from a suspect in the house, not only is that a key piece of evidence, you could compare that to other gloves that have been found. Also, the sheriff told me on the ransom notes and the legitimacy of those notes, he can't comment on that.
I can comment on it. I'm pretty sure they're not legitimate. This was a cover-up, something gone bad, you know, but this is just such a mystery. I know you guys think it's a mystery, so do I. Even as a former law enforcement officer, I was on a SWAT team. I patrolled in Tucson, Arizona, which is just north of Tucson. But still, the demographic, the area, the type of crimes that occur in Tucson, this is very bizarre, and there's no telling what happened. You know, it's so secretive because you would think that an amateur person is the one that did this, the guy that showed up at the door, all of that. How would he be, I guess, structured enough to get Nancy Guthrie's mother out of the house, and now she's somewhere that nobody knows she's at? You know, they could have dropped her in the desert, and, you know, there's a lot of wildlife and animals in the desert. A person dropped in the desert would only last for maybe like 2 or 3 days before animals get to them and take them somewhere. So the person could have very well did that. It does not look coordinated, and it looked like the guy didn't know what he was doing, and it's like, how is she still missing for so long? Anyway, comment in the comment section. Let me know. I'll look through the comments and see what you guys think. Or you can write me directly at Freedom Chat. So Brandon@freedomchat.com. You can send me a message there. All right, let's get to the Tumbler Ridge shooting. This is another situation that I thought was incredibly sad, incredibly disheartening, and the Canadian authorities should be ashamed of themselves. I just don't understand how we still playing games at this point. I still don't understand why people cannot make it a point to make reference to the fact that people who are changing their genders or attempting to change their genders are mentally ill. And it's not just that they're mentally ill, meaning that it's all their fault because they were mentally ill growing up. It's the fact that they giving these kids all of these damaging medication. Let me say this. I want to say this because I think conservatives get this wrong sometimes. The violent crimes that are committed by transgender people is not committed because they're transgender. They're committed because these people are taking medication that make them crazier than what they are in their confusion in their gender in the first place. It's not that transgenders are a threat. It's that some of these people are taking this medication that makes them loony and crazy and unable to handle their own mind. Therefore, they become loony, violent. They either harm themselves or others. That's why we are talking about transgenderism. It's not because we somehow hating on somebody that want to be a different gender. It's the fact that they're giving these young people these chemically castrating drugs and also these psychological drugs that are making them nutty. And they're going off and hurting people. Okay, let's get to the subject at hand. Unfortunately, here's a picture of some of the young people that have lost their lives in this senseless shooting, which is very sad, very unfortunate. And these young people didn't even have a chance. Why am I showing them? Because I want people to see that these are the victims that law enforcement had to recover, and compare that to what is being said in the media as far as capitulating to the person who took the lives of these people. All right, let's get to the next clip. Roll it.
We just loved her so much. She was thriving in high school. She never hurt a soul. She was a supporter, LGBTQ supporter, and she was the last person who ever deserved this.
She was in grade 7?
Grade 7, yeah, 12 years old. She was 3 months away from her 13th birthday.
Can you describe yesterday? I mean, she just went to school like any other day, right?
Yeah, I let her off. I let her go to school with her brother Ethan in the morning, and I had soaked in that moment watching them walk in the door together for whatever reason, and I didn't know it would be the last time they'd go to school together. But
when did you learn something had happened, or how did this come to you?
Ethan had called about 3:05 after he had text messaged saying, "I love you." And he called and said that he was in a utility room and that he was hiding and he didn't know where Kylie was.
When I open social media, I'm seeing lots of stuff about the shooter. I'm seeing the ideology stuff. And I don't think any of that matters when there's 9 other souls that were lost that day, like 7 kids and 2 adults. And we need to put their pictures up on social media. Like, there's a hero named Maddie Levesque who did CPR on my daughter for 45 minutes. And she was the one who came and told us 9 hours later that our daughter had passed because the police hadn't said anything to us. Like, these are the heroes. You want to put someone's picture up on the news, put Maddie's picture up, put my daughter's picture up, and Takaria and Abel and Ezekiel and Maya, who's still fighting for her life. Put all their pictures up. Let's stop giving this psychopath the recognition, because these kids were lost before they got to become teenagers. So let's put their pictures up, please, and remember them, not this murderer. Get that guy's face off the internet. Let's put these kids up there. They're amazing kids. I knew them all. I taught them soccer. We went to school. All these families know each other. We grew up together, and
it's a small community.
These are the kids who deserve recognition.
We all know each other.
The horrific
I'm sorry, I got to rush through this. This is a little bit of a background in case you guys don't know the timeline. Let's hit it.
In Tumbler Ridge, BC, left 9 dead and 27 more injured and started at the home of the suspect, 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootsiller. Here's a timeline based on community voices and police reports we have so far.
The incident at the home occurred first, where we have the 2 deceased family members, and from there our suspect attended the school and commenced their criminal activity there.
At 1:20 p.m. Mountain Time, RCMP received a report of an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. The school was put into lockdown along with Tumbler Ridge Elementary School nearby. 1:22, police arrive at the scene. According to Tumbler Ridge secondary student Darian Quist, around that time he had heard an alarm at the school that he hadn't heard before.
Our principal goes throughout the halls and she's saying, people close your doors, lock down. I thought it was a secure and hold and something like that at first. But once things started circulating, we realized how serious it really was. So we all barricaded up the doors with some iron tables.
RCMP said the rampage took place in 2 parts of the school.
There was one victim that was located deceased in the stairwell of the school, and the others were located, I believe, in the library.
While Darian and his classmates remained locked down, according to RCMP at 2:47 local time, the police were called to the suspect's home, where the suspect's mother and stepbrother were found dead. An alert was sent out at 3:15 across the community, stating to shelter in place, lock your doors, and refrain from leaving your home or businesses at this time. By 4:16, RCMP was still investigating and released a statement to say the original suspect was believed to be dead, but they were still determining if anyone else was involved. Around that time, Darian says he and the other students were escorted to safety.
RCMP got in, we're telling everyone to put their hands up, and we were all escorted out of the building and sent towards.
I got to move forward. But here's the thing. Every time somebody looks at these clips, I know exactly what people are going to say. Why do we have this happening in society? Why? Because we refuse to secure the schools. I don't know how many mother-freaking times I have to say this, but people need to start taking this stuff seriously, because it may be a matter of time before this happens at your kid's school. And all you need to do is have a few people at the school that are there to protect the students in case a nut job that live in your community that's probably going to be trans, that's going to commit a crime at your school. When are we going to learn? These schools have 1,000 families that go, 3,000 students that go to school. Get security for the school. This is another reason why I came up with Black Line Security. Secure the schools. The reason that you see a nut job that offs his family, and where does he go next? He goes to a school because there's nobody there to protect the kids. It's an easy target. When are we going to learn? I don't understand. We need security at these schools. If you are a teacher, a principal, contact the security company, contact Blackline. All you got to do is go to blacklinesecurityops.com. Send us a message in our portal. You need to get some security. 2 or 3 guys at least. There's veterans out there that want to work, that need work. There's people out there that'll put it on the line to stand at the school. Y'all can spend money on transgender and drag queen shows and all that other stupid stuff, but you're okay with leaving the kids vulnerable. I would never understand that. I just would never understand it. Get your security stuff in line. All the parents can come together and put their money together. And I'll say this too, and this is the reason why I think the nonprofit aspect of Blackline is sufficient, because if the parents want to support security for the school, they donate. Therefore, they get a tax deduction and they get a chance to do security. Or if it's a private school, give money to the school can pay for security. It's a fun and games, and it's cute until somebody get hurt at school and then everybody want to cry and say, why is this happening? I can go on forever about this, but I need to move on. Let's go to a clip from Matt Walsh. I think he has something to say. Roll it.
If we look at the data, trans people account for more mass shootings than anyone per capita over the last couple of years. I don't even think it's close. And there's a reason for that. I mean, by definition, if you are a trans-identified person, then you are divorced from reality by definition, number one. Number two, you're radicalized because trans ideology is a radical ideology. So we know those two things going in. And then number three, I've said many times, and I think it's true, that trans ideology is basically defeated at a cultural and political level, which I think that it is. Now the fight continues. It's not like we can just put our feet up at the desk and call it a day, but it's basically defeated at those two levels. But what that means is that actually that's going to make trans-identified people potentially an even greater threat going forward, because now you've got a lot of people that were sold a lie, and now they're starting to realize that it was a lie, and society has moved on from them. And now, on top of everything else, on top of being radicalized, being self-destructive by definition, being confused, they're feeling humiliated and betrayed and left behind. And I think we're going to see more and more people lashing out violently. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse from here.
All right, I want to go back real quick. Here's the numbers that Matt Walsh was talking about. It says mass shooting rate, demographic, and this is per capita, because obviously there's way more people committing shootings of different nationalities or representations, but this is on per capita basis. So that means if the number of trans people expanded, tripled, quadrupled, they still, per capita, they would commit a massive amount more crime than anybody else. And one reason is that you could actually take the trans non-binary title off of it and put people that are taking drugs. These are people that are just getting flooded with drugs. But I think this is very important. We need to go back to a few things. We need to show this shooter and their mentality. Where's that text from the shooter where the shooter was saying something like, I can't continue on, these drugs are hurting me, and different stuff like that? Either they had mentioned it or there was a message that was sent about the puberty blockers and stuff. Let's roll a clip. Roll it.
Social media post dating back 3 years sheds further light into Van Roetselar's struggles, expressing their frustrations over wait times regarding hormone replacement therapy, writing in part, I am noticing heavy changes in my appearance every month. By the time I'm actually able to visit, I may have severe damage from testosterone changing my body. This is extremely stressful. The weight alone makes me want to die. The uncertainty, not knowing how the HRT will even affect me, not knowing if I'll ever be me. It's not known whether those struggles played any part in what happened, and McDonald says police have not determined a motive for the shooting at Tumbler Ridge Senior Secondary. But they did confirm that Van Rootselaar was previously known to police and that they had been apprehended under the Mental Health Act. And while the deceased suspect didn't have a firearms license,
police have attended that residence in the past, approximately a couple of years ago, where firearms were seized under the criminal code. I can say that at a later point in time, the lawful owner of those firearms petitioned for those firearms to be returned, and they were.
Police have confirmed that the two victims killed at the family home were Van Rootselaar's mother and stepbrother, but there is no indication any of the victims at the school were specifically targeted. But Van Rootselaar was not attending the school recently after dropping out 4 years ago. In Facebook posts from 2015, the suspect's late mother had raised concerns regarding the 7-year-old's well-being, saying that the school had wanted them tested for a behavioral disorder, going on to say he has a huge heart and shows intense empathy when he sees anyone hurt, not by his own hand, but as a devious grin when he hurts his siblings.
Now, I'll add this because I do not understand why the priorities are so messed up. Show the clip of what the person really looked like. They try to put a AI version of him. Show that other clip.
Hey, Brandon, we found out that image was actually a fake image.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we did our due diligence on
What about that video? Is that video fake?
Of the shooting?
Screaming in the bathroom?
No, I didn't see anything that said that was fake.
Let's play this one.
Yeah.
This is another example of the distress this person was going through. Roll the clip. and let me say this. And it's not funny because this kid has chemical imbalances in their brain because all that medication they dumping in this kid's system to try to make him trans. Instead of getting these kids help, they effing them. And then I want to play the video game real quick. This kid created a Roblox video game where it shows him doing, and you don't have to show the violence, but it shows him doing mass, you know what. And he even created it to where it has kids' names and stuff on it. Like, let me say this real quick. I think this needs to be said. For all these parents out here screwing their kids up, when your kid is showing signs and symptoms of trauma and untoward behavior, you need to address it. You cannot play around with stuff like this. And there's parents out here that don't care. They think it's cute. Or they hate the other parent so much in these broken families that they want to stick it to the parent instead of getting the kid the help they need. And then when the kid does something and it's too late, now they want to start talking. When your kid is lying, your kid is doing hurting themselves, they're violent, you have to address it. When I was growing up, they just beat the out of you. But now they got therapy, counseling. You got to help your kids. Somebody know this kid is playing these video games and doing this stuff, and they don't say anything. Let's get to some other kids that will never get the proper attention. They'll go out of their way, and they'll get on TV, and they'll say, oh, the trans and the mental illness, and oh, this person was, but they never talk about these kids. Have you ever noticed? Roll the clip.
An 18-year-old accused of killing a friend after a disagreement over food is now in custody 2 weeks after the shooting.
LaMarcus Darden Jr. is accused of shooting Jarvis Davis at a Fort Worth apartment after Davis would not share his French fries. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to the victim's mom today. Peyton.
Steve, and multiple people witnessed this shooting inside of an apartment, including children. So Fort Worth police tell me they were confident in who they were looking for. We now know this 18-year-old suspect was tracked down all the way to Tyler, Texas. That's about 140 miles away from Fort Worth. He was tracked down to a hotel. Fort Worth police tell me it's possible he has family in that area, but he's now back in North Texas. That suspect is at the Tarrant County Jail tonight.
It's so senseless.
Senseless. That's how Sharika Kennedy describes the murder of her son.
Why? Now that's the question. Why? No, my baby was probably genuinely his friend. My baby wasn't expecting him to shoot him. Everybody in the house was like, they thought he was joking about the fries.
19-year-old Jarvis Davis shot and killed inside this West Fort Worth apartment near Camp Bowie in 820 back on January 28th. Witnesses told police a group just got back from grabbing food at Wingstop when there was an argument. Investigators say Davis didn't share his fries with the suspect, later identified as 18-year-old LaMarcus Darden.
My son's girlfriend was laying on his lap at the time of it, and she said she just heard a glass break. A gunshot and a glass break.
Fort Worth police say Darden pulled out a handgun, shot Davis in the head, and took off from the complex. He was tracked down nearly 2 weeks later. Kennedy, a mother of 8, now with a missing piece in her family and frustrated considering she says her son and Darden were friends.
All right. Mental illness, unchecked. Kids acting an ashy elbow, and the parents think it's cute. Oh, they just kid. This is what they do. Then they grow up to be crazy. And they're messed up in the mind. Nobody told them no. Nobody held them accountable. So when the boy don't want to share fries, this kid can't handle his emotions. So he shoots his friend. Got these boys out here, either they daddy suck, he not involved, or they living with a terrible single mother. One of the three things are happening to these boys. Here's another clip. This is another derivative from this whole psychological trauma that we're not addressing in our society. Roll the clip.
We not even gonna play like that for no grade. Y'all see them killers in here? Hey, stop playing with my shorties. Hang on. Look, I know how y'all coming, shorty. What's that word, man? It's about 100 glickers in this.
Now, I'm not able to verify if those are real guns, right? Go back to the last picture, just the last frame right there. I'm not able to verify if these are real guns. These could be BB guns because they make replica BB guns that look just like real guns. Make replica AR-15s look just like a real AR-15. No deviation, no difference, to be quite honest. But what I tell you is that if these are real guns, how in the world are kids that look like they 12 and 13 years old carrying real guns to this magnitude at a school? No detection, no nothing. And if they're fake guns, why are young people trying to carry fake guns around as if they're real? To do what? Mental illness that's not addressed in our society until they grow up and they kill somebody and they do all this stuff and they go to prison for life and then grandma and them and crying in the courtroom, what happened to my baby? Y'all was not taking the boys' mental health serious. Y'all let them do whatever they want to do. Don't hold them accountable, and they grow up to be nut jobs. And I wish that people would understand this very clearly. You gotta care about your kids enough to get them the help they need. And if you don't be surprised when they struggling and they can't handle their emotions and they kill somebody, or they go do something to put them in prison for life and nothing you can do to help them anymore. All right, I want to get to this trans wrestler thing, and then I want to get to Nicole Curtis saying the N-word. Let's jump on this thing real quick. I'm going to try to give them equal time, about 10, 12 minutes apiece, or probably less than that, actually. But let's start with this. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it real quick. This needs to be investigated. Yeah, when you wrestle, when you do things, there could be inadvertent hand positions and different things like that. But the boy shouldn't even be out there against a girl in the first mother freaking place. The fact that y'all didn't let a boy get out there and do the girl, that's a problem right there. Where are the men in the room that got courage? Look at the one, the bald head one back there. What y'all doing back there? You just sitting around watching a boy fight a girl because you a wuss. What men, how they making these men nowadays? I can't sit and watch a boy fight a girl in wrestling, and I'm sitting there like a wuss, just sitting there watching it happen. No, that boy beating up on this girl, and I'm watching it. Lord help me for not cussing today. Roll the clip.
Get to your base! Get to your base! Get to your base!
I don't know what she said to you, why her face looks like that.
Get to your base! 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 Get to your base!
So that's an example of what the girl is saying. Clearly she has distortion on her face because something happened. She claims that the girl, which we know is a boy, put his hand in her crotch. All right, go to the next clip.
Teen athlete says she was sexually violated by a trans wrestler and the school district did nothing. So this story centers around a 16-year-old sophomore at Rogers High School in Puyallup. Her name is
All right,
Callie
I think you guys
You'll
got
hear
it.
from her momentarily.
Puyallup is in Washington State, and this is where people's dreams go to die. Unless you're a conservative and you fight through it. This is the silliest place to live well, not the silliest. There's places way sillier. But these districts in Washington State and Oregon and some of these leftist cities, they just doing the craziest stuff. Letting these boys beat up these girls like this. For what? What is the point? Now, here's the girl's statement on the interview. I want to play a little bit of what she had to say. I'm going to have to go through this quickly, y'all. So bear with me. Roll the clip.
And that has never happened, like, out of all the years I've wrestled.
Because you do get, you're on the mat and you're trying to flip people and pin people, but all those years through elementary and middle school, you never had anything like that happen to you.
No.
Next clip.
So in the moment, what do you think?
I told my mom, like, right after the match, and I couldn't find my coach.
Okay.
Like, after the match, because there were other matches going on. And then a different coach from another school came up and talked to me about that match.
Okay, and did they, because they had seen something, or did they just talk, generally speaking? Like, what did they want to tell you?
They wanted to tell me that it was a biological boy that I was wrestling.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
So what was your reaction? You're telling people on camera about it. Why is it so important for you to, not only have this debate, come to a head, but it's that important where you're willing to talk about this publicly?
Because, like, women's wrestling has just grown so much within the past couple of years, and I don't want it to, like, shrink again with just, like, this whole situation going on.
Yeah. Would you have reported to your coach the unwanted touching had it not been a boy?
Yes.
So even if it had been a girl, that was, like, weird enough and concerning enough that you would have brought that to your coach?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say to people? This whole debate's happening right now in our state, obviously, and we have an initiative that would protect girls' sports and say, if you're a biological boy, you can't participate. I'm sure you've seen some of the hate that we get, some of the hate that even teen athletes get. We have a couple girls who've been really outspoken about these issues, and sometimes they need, like, armed security when they go places. Why do you think people get so upset at female athletes when they advocate against that?
I honestly couldn't even tell you. Like, everyone voices their own opinions, but people just get, like, more mad at certain athletes than others.
All right, cool. I got to get to the next story. In post-production, we'll add a couple of these clips. We have a clip of another influencer talking about this. Some of the full clips of her interview with that young lady we'll put that out there as well. But you know, it is crazy. Let's show what that boy looked like. I mean, y'all out here tripping. Boy, look like his daddy with a wig on. Stop playing. I don't know why people think this makes sense, man. You can listen. If you want to be a girl like that, you can do that. Why disenfranchise or infringe on somebody else's freedoms, and why interfere with somebody else's ability to win wrestling matches? You know you got an unfair advantage. You know that's why you win every time. Don't do other women like that if you really want to advocate for women. And for you cowards out there, let me just not say nothing, because I got strong words to say to people like that I would love to have a physical confrontation with some of these people for what they're doing to these women. Let's get to Nicole Curtis. Or Cuttress. Is it Cuttress or Curtis?
It is Nicole Curtis.
Oh, Curtis. We spelled it wrong here. It's a typo. All right. Nicole Curtis. Now, I don't even know who this woman is, but this got to be the craziest thing I ever heard. Now, let me say this before we ever get into it. I don't care, and it's not offensive to me. The N-word has no value and power in my life ever. You got to be the stupidest, most weakest, craziest victim person on planet Earth if somebody say the N-word, you offended. Especially if you black and you listen to it every day, but then when a white person says, somehow you gotta morph into some victim. I can't believe somebody said that. When you got black people saying N while they shooting people, while they talking about killing people on music, you at the concert. I was at the Nelly concert at the thing. All the white people saying N-words. Nelly don't care. He put the mic out there. I'm dying for my... And I was like, oh my God. I ain't know white people even saying this song. But at the end of the day, I don't care. It's a word. Listen to what she said, though, so y'all don't know it's not just me. But it's not the N-word. It's the whole phrase she used. I have no idea what she's saying. Roll the clip.
Hi. It's my last one. Oh, fart, Nick. What the fuck is that I just said? Hey, Nick, you gotta, can you kill that? No, I got 35 minutes. I can't kill it. Oh, my life.
So ain't that sad, though? I ain't gonna lie. Something slipped out of her mouth. She said fart N-word, which I have no context to what that phrase means. And she knew her life was over because she said a phrase. There is never a context where a black person can say a racial slur and their life be over. Never. They say all kind of stuff. They call white people all kind of stuff. They say white people are the most evil people in the world. They call them saltines, if you know what I'm saying. They call them saltines. And nothing happened to them, but a white person slip and say something that happened to have the N-word in it, they get canceled forever. Charlamagne the Fraud had something to say about it. Roll the clip.
But according to ChatGPT, it's commonly used. And then I watched the video, right? Because when you watch the video, I say to myself, wow, Nicole Curtis used the term fart N-word in its proper context, okay? And I'm going to be honest, just playing white devil's advocate here. I don't know if this is a racial slur the way she used it. Of course, the N-word by itself is a racial slur, but when you put fart in front of it, and there is no black people around, you're doing some rehab. You're doing something that makes you feel dumb while you are doing the rehab, and so you just randomly scream out, fart, nigga? I don't know if that's a cancelable offense. What? Let me tell you, what I think should happen is she should be interrogated, okay? Because there's some secret white people meetings going on that we don't know about. Because how come ChatGPT knows that people are out here using the phrase fart N-word, but we never heard about it, ever, okay? If there are secret white people meetings happening with secret white language, we need to know about it the same way they need to understand what Bad Bunny was saying. We need to understand what they are saying, right. Okay? If they are using...
Enough here. Hold on. Let's go back to them boys at that high school with them guns. I want to flash that on the screen. I just want to put this in context. Play a clip real quick. Just go ahead and roll
it. We not even gonna play like that for no grade. Y'all see them killers in here? Hey, stop playing with my shorties. Hey, I know how y'all coming, shorty.
All right, let's go back.
Man?
Now, how does a white lady on a home improvement show make the news and Charlamagne them talking about it, but they ain't talking about these boys in school with these guns? Which one is more dangerous? Which one should be offensive to black people? A white lady saying I ain't never heard a phrase like that in my life. White lady accidentally said the phrase. She knew she wanted them to delete it. It's not a big, but when black brothers are killing each other over French fries and bringing guns into the school, AR-15s in the school, we don't even care. That's not offensive enough to us to mean nothing. All right, pull up on the screen what she had to say. Maybe I'll try to read it. There's more to this, but my family comes first, and I need to be mom right now more than anything else. I will take the time to be, as I've always been with you, transparent and honest. TMZ called me as I had just turned my phone on after being at school. I said this briefly, but there's more. Now, I don't know what she's talking about. What's the next clip? She wrote all that. Don't worry about it. It don't even really matter. Who cares, bro? TMZ ain't calling the mama and daddy of them boys with them guns in the house, are they? TMZ ain't talking to that mama that her son got killed over French fries. But y'all talking about this white lady say some crazy phrase on accident. It slipped. She said the wrong thing. She knew she said the wrong thing. She was repentant of it immediately. Really, who's offended by that? Black people? Y'all don't count no more. You don't get a chance to be offended by nothing. Because a lot of black people, what they do is offend other people. And then they act like they're offended when somebody uses a word that they can weaponize. Stop being stupid, man. I don't care if the president said the N-word. I don't care. I'm not that word. That word don't represent me or my people. Only ignorant folk believe that word got power. I'll never get over this. I'm telling you, I'll never get over it. I used to say the N-word all the time when I was growing up. And me and my best friend was on the mall at the University of Arizona, and we out there laughing and rolling in the grass, laughing and saying, and he, in this, in, all my in. And I'm looking at these white people like, dang, we look stupid right here. We look stupid. Okay? And we probably should stop saying this word because it don't make no sense. Then when you go to church, are you dropping the N-word at church? Why not? Because it sounds ridiculous. Do you go on a job interview and say the N-word? No, because it sounds ridiculous. Even Barack Obama, when he was the president, did he say the N-word at a press conference? Because it's ridiculous. And y'all got to stop saying it and then get mad at the white people for saying it. If y'all saying it, white people can say it. If y'all rapping it, white people can rap along to it. If y'all don't want nobody saying it, stop saying it. All right. I had some more stuff I want to talk about, but I had to get up out of here. Yeah, we'll hear some stuff next week, man. It's been a long week. I love you guys. Hey, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all of you guys watching. I don't know what else to say, but I appreciate you. Some of y'all I've seen out in public. Come say hi, taking pictures. I love it. I appreciate it. I value every single person that buys stuff from my store. I value everybody who support me on the channel. I value everybody that buy Verdict. And I value you haters too, because you don't do nothing but make my craft better. And I find more ways to make y'all look crazy. And I got to thank you for that, because you have your part in making Officer Tatum great again. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Show you this hat real quick. Go get you one on the store. Deport liberal white women. That should be the next president's slogan. Because y'all out here cutting up. Just silly. Just carrying it out. But I love you guys. Got to get my hair cut. Peace to the Middle East. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.
On the land of the free.